Hey everyone, this is Shenandoah County Sheriff Timothy Carter, and today with me I have a special guest. We have the Executive Director of Response Incorporated, Beth Ogle. Thanks for being here today, Beth.
Thank you.
Now let's see, April is also Sexual Assault Awareness Month. As we discussed earlier, how prevalent would you say sexual assault is in our county and the surrounding area?
That is such a tough one to answer because sexual assaults are notoriously underreported. We typically assist 30 to 40 survivors of sexual assault per year, and that does not include those who were actual survivors but do not self-report as such. So national statistics estimate that an American is sexually assaulted every 73 seconds.
Wow. That's an incredibly high number.
Yeah.
I know Response has they have a sexual assault coordinator staff position, I believe is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
What does that person do, and how do they help victims of sexual assault?
Our sexual assault coordinator offers trauma-informed support to survivors, and along with other staff, she helps them navigate the process of healing from an assault. This includes one-on-one supportive counseling, accompaniment to forensic examinations, court accompaniment, law enforcement interview accompaniment, referrals for PTSD services, and just being available and non-judgmental, just being a support person for any unique things that might come up for the survivors. Our coordinator also helps family members of survivors as they are often at a loss for how to help their loved one. She's also tasked with coordinating awareness events, outreach, and education to make our community more aware of the dynamics of sexual violence, to try to limit the stigma and the victim blaming that is often associated with acts of sexual assault.
No, Beth, there's a term it's called SART. It's a community. Our community has a SART team, I think. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us what that acronym stands for and what exactly do they do?
Sure. So a SART is a sexual assault response team, and a SART team helps survivors through just the maze of community services that is actually available to them. And we use the experiences of survivors to help improve those services. The Shenandoah County SART team was in hiatus for several years, but we've recently reconvened. So this team consists of all the local law enforcement agencies, the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office, Victim Witness, the Winchester Medical Center SANE nurses, which is the forensic nurses, and probation, parole, and, of course, response. We do meet monthly, and we've developed trauma-informed protocols for responding to sexual assaults and have just begun designing a specialized training for local law enforcement.
Well, I know as a local law enforcement leader in the community, it's so helpful to have all of those groups working together on this issue. I mean, it can be it's a traumatic experience for the individual, but it can also be very complex when you're dealing with prosecution or bringing people to justice, and it's helpful from my perspective to be a part of that group and know that there are organizations that want to all work in the same direction. So I want to thank you all for that.
Thank you.
I think people normally think when they think of sexual assault, they think of the physical act of sexual assault, but sexual assault can be an online event or incident. Like sending unwanted explicit leads, sexual content to someone. Is that correct? I mean, it's more than just the physical assault.
Absolutely. Some people use technology such as digital photos, videos, apps, and social media to engage in harassing, unsolicited, or non-consensual sexual interactions. Some examples of this type of abuse are someone sending sexually explicit pictures or videos of themselves or others that a victim never asked for or consented to receiving. Another example is when someone shares with others sexually explicit photos, videos, chats, etc., that were sent to them in confidence. It can also include coercion or intimidation, threatening to share private photos with the public if the victim does not do as the perpetrator asks.
And where would a person go if they believe that they are being victimized or they're a victim of sexual assault? Do you have any guidance or advice there?
Absolutely. Once again, response is always here with our 24-hour hotline, the 540-459-5161 number. You can also call RAIN, which is Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network. They are one of the leading forces in just giving great hotline, great crisis communication to anybody who's been sexually assaulted. And their number is 1-800-656-HOPE. After a sexual assault, it's really hard to know how to react. You might be physically hurt, you're emotionally drained, you're really unsure what to do next. You might be considering working with the criminal justice system, but you're not sure where to start. So learning more about the steps you can take following sexual violence can help ground you in a really, really difficult time. So Response and RAIN have trained sexual assault advocates who can help you navigate the next steps after an assault.
Okay. Well, Beth, I want to thank you for spending a few minutes of your time and talking to our listeners about the works that Response does. Is there anything that you'd like to add?
Yeah, I just want to remind everyone that Response advocates are available 24/7. All of our services are free and confidential, which I think is so important when we live in a small rural community. Confidentiality is a big deal to us, and so we want to make sure that people understand that is very important to us. You can reach us anytime on our hotline. Again, that's 540-459-5161. And I do encourage people to check out our website. That's responseva.org, because we do have a lot of resources and educational tools available there. It is a great place to start if you want help, but you're not quite ready to reach out directly.
Well, again, Beth, I want to thank you personally for spending your time with me today. I want to thank you and the staff at Response. I've been affiliated with that organization now for over 20 years, and with the amount of resources that you have, the level of operations that you all have to address, people get a tremendous bang for their buck when they use these services. I mean, Response works very hard in Shenandoah County. As I said before, Response is Shenandoah County's only agency dedicated to assisting those affected by sexual and domestic violence. And you and the staff work so hard and to help people that need these services, and I appreciate that. And the community is better because of organizations like Response and the work that you guys do. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the work you've done for Response. We appreciate you, and we appreciate you giving us this opportunity to let the community know that we're here and what it is that we do.
Well, again, thanks again, Beth. This is Beth Ogle, the Executive Director of Response here in Woodstock, and we'd love to have you back sometime, okay?
Sure.
So I'm sure there's other things we can talk about.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay. Well, guys, thank you all for joining me today, and don't forget to follow me at Timothy C. Carter on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, along with full podcasts that can be found on my YouTube. Hit the subscribe button to get new show notifications, and please go ahead and smash that like button. Thank you.